Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, we want to give all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Right, this brother Yasha Paul.
This is the brother Elder Ray.
We're gonna do a quick lesson, quick video on basically, enduring to the end. Finishing strong. Being that we're in these last days. We like to compare this thing as being in this truth as similar to being in a race. In the race, man, you're gonna have different people around you, trying to lap you. Uh, might have somebody wicked trying to trip you up, push you down. And it's the same thing in this truth. You're gonna have spirits that's gonna try to trip you up and push you down, man. But the main thing is to, get back up, right? The main thing is to get back up, fight these spirits, man, with these precepts. Right? Because in this truth, man, like I say, it's a race within a race. You know, uh, I like to say it's more of a marathon because in the race you might have to run like if you're doing like a marathon, you might have to run like 2 miles, and you don't want to go full speed, the whole marathon. You know what I'm saying? If you're doing 2 miles, you can't go full speed. You don't have to, you might have to start off, first 2 laps, you know, start off strong, and then you're gonna have to pace yourself, all the way up until like maybe like the second or to the last lap. Then you start like hitting it hard, but in between you just grooving, try to keep up, try to keep a steady pace, and it's the same thing in this truth, while you building yourself up, for the race and while you training, you got to make sure you abstain from all wickedness because with these athletes, in the world, they I heard Floyd Mayweather when he getting ready for a fight or preparing for the fight, he don't have no sex. So in this truth, man, hey, when you win this race, within the race, man, you gotta abstain from lust, um, abstain from partying. You might get a friend back in the world or you know a cousin or something that might hit you up. Hey man, let's go to a party or you know let's do this or let's do that. Let's go out. You're gonna have all these different obstacles. Women, you're gonna have some women that's gonna try to bring you into the world, bring you down. You causing you to lust. TV, whether it's TV or drugs or alcohol, all these things may cause you to fall out this truth. And it's the same thing in a race. You want to make sure when you preparing for a fight or you preparing for any professional sport, you want to make sure that you focus on that specific goal or that particular goal. And it's no different from being in this truth. So let's get um First Corinthians 9 and 24.
Con. You said First Corinthians 9 and 24. Con.
Uh, I believe that's it.
That's it. That's it, King. It says, it's the book of First Corinthians, chapter 9 and verse 24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the masteries is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible.
Yeah, so like I was saying, with these professional athletes, they do it for like a ribbon, or they might do it for the Lombardi Trophy, or all these the Stanley Cup,
Right.
all these different trophies, man, that they got in the world. The gold medal when you go to you playing the winter games and the FIBA and the USA games. They do it, for something that's incorruptible. Meaning, when the world is about to come to an end, those things are going to be burnt up in thermonuclear fire. But with us, we doing this to receive salvation. We doing this to receive the kingdom of heaven. And therefore, our prize or the consolation for us is the incorruptible crown. That's eternal life. Right? Keep
Con,
reading.
con. It says, verse 25, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. Verse 26, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air.
Right. So again, we do this uh to fight, man, to stay in this race, to stay in this truth. And basically we push ourselves to, to the limit, whether it's being outside in the rain, in the sleet, in the snow, right? We pushing our bodies. No, it's like that's verse 27. Right? It's like keep reading verse 27.
Verse 27, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection,
Right. So
lest
yeah.
that by,
Oh
go
yeah.
ahead.
So yeah, that's what I was saying. So basically, what we doing is, we push ourselves in this truth, man. We don't just just do the basic things to get back. Just like if you preparing for a fight, you don't just prepare or spar for an hour out the day. You might spar for 3 hours in the morning. You might come back in the gym in the afternoon time. You might come back in the gym in the evening time until you feel that you're prepared to fight in this fight. It's no different from us. When we in this truth, we got to pray in the morning, we got to pray in the evening, we got to pray in the afternoon, we got to exhort, we got to communicate, and we damn near got to be, we got to be just like how they addicted, to the sport. Kobe in the gym for hours, Michael Jordan in the gym for hours. Hey, we got to be in the gym for hours spiritually. We're
Come,
talking about being in this truth. You know what I'm saying? We got to put in the work, right? We out here on the highways and byways. We got to, we ambassadors, for Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. We represent Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So how much for us to be studying and praying and exhorting week in and week out? Right? Keep reading.
come. It says, but I kept under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway.
Yeah, so basically it's like, man, we doing all this and we telling the people, hey, repent, keep the commandments, and we're not doing it ourselves, and we might as well take ourselves out the race. There's
Mm,
no point for us,
mm,
doing all of the work that we doing, and then we come back and we slothful, or you just you're not trying to prepare yourself up and get ready for this fight or for the race, and you might as well disqualify yourself. That's the same thing Paul is saying. Hey man, you're putting yourself under all this, and you telling the people to repent, and but on the back end, hey, you becoming slothful. That's what I said.
mm,
That's what he said. And he might when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. You're doing all of this stuff basically for nothing. So that's why, we tell our people, I mean, we do this for a reason. And in addition to that, we got to make sure we telling the people, hey, y'all got to do the same thing, man. Y'all got to repent, right? Y'all got to keep the commandments. Y'all got to have faith and believe on Yahweh Shai. Y'all got to make yourselves addicted to the ministry and addicted to this truth,
mm.
right? That's First Corinthians
Sure.
16 and 15. Bring that out, right? We got
Come,
to, just like, anybody trying to be, the best at anything, man. Hey, they gym rats. Hey, we got to be book rats for the Lord, for Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Right, First Corinthians 16 and 15.
come. It's the book of First Corinthians, chapter
Oh,
16,
hold on, let me see if I
and
get there. Wait, 1 second.
come. Uh,
First Corinthians. All right, you got it.
okay. First Corinthians, chapter 16, and verse number 15. I beseech you, brethren, ye know the house of Stephanus, that it is the first fruits of Achaia, and that they have addicted themselves to the ministry of the saints.
Hmm.
Verse 16, that ye submit yourselves unto such, and to everyone that helpeth with us and laboreth.
Yeah, so I mean, just like Brother Paul, we got to make sure that we are addicting ourselves to the truth. We got to be crazy about this truth. Morning, noon, and night. We got to think about the brotherhood. We got to think about, communicating with brothers, seeing how they doing, how their family doing, how their health doing. These are all brownie points. These are all the little things to make sure. Hey, I like to say this about being in this truth too, man. I don't know if it's just me, but being in this truth is almost like being in a straitjacket.
Mm.
You know what a straitjacket is? Let me see if
Yeah,
I can.
come.
Let me see if I can pull that up. Yeah, because a
Okay.
straitjacket, it really don't leave you no room.
Mm.
It really don't leave you in a room, in a lot of room to do anything, right? And
Come.
that's like it's similar to being in this truth. Let me see. Uh, Here we go. Can you see my screen?
Come. I can see it. Yeah, it kind of limits you. It's kind of like a horse with those blinders on. You don't have,
Yeah,
you can't do too much. You don't have that much wiggle room, so to speak.
exactly. And that's how it is in this truth, man.
Mm.
You really can't
Mm.
party like that. You really can't be hanging out with a whole bunch of people in the world. Because
Mm.
when you hang around them, then they smoking weed, they getting drunk, they fornicating, they lusting, and that causes you to kind of like dip off and go off and into the world until you in a sunken place.
Right.
So that's why being in this truth, man, it limits you from doing a whole lot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So
Come.
that's why it's very important. Like I mean, we say this, that pray. We say to pray and study and fast, and you know that's the basic. It sounds real basic, but really it's the family like the milk to keep you grounded, keep you rooted in this truth. Again,
That's right.
communicating with brothers, seeing how they doing, exhorting, what I'm saying, the brothers is down. Hey, because we still in the flesh. Brothers get down, brothers be having ailments and different types of aching pains. Hey, shit. Damn, my back was, been hurting for a minute. You know what I'm saying? You be having your ailments. And so we
Mm.
need brothers to hit us up and check on us, to see how we doing, man, to keep our spirits up. That's
Come.
part
That's
of
a
exhorting and the process of healing, staying in this race, so you won't get out. It keeps you having that single eye. All right,
right.
you got anything? I was gonna bring out
Yeah.
Hebrews.
Yeah. I just want to kind of let me back off of that straight jacket. Hey, if you could put that straight jacket uh picture back up there.
Uh,
I got a quick precept that when you first brought it up, my man was like, okay, man, where's he going with this? And then immediately it kicked in. Oh wow, that's fire. Hey, that's fire. You said, being in this truth is kind of like can make you feel like you're in a straitjacket. Not in a bad sense, like you'd have lost your mind, you went crazy,
right,
but in this type of sense where I'm gonna bring this out in Second Ezra 7 and verse number 7. It says
Ooh, I like
the
that one.
entrance, come on, all praises, King. It says, the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall. And and when you all loose, you're not, limited, with your movement and this and that. Hey, you can end up on the left hand side or you can end up on the right hand side. It says, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. So being in this truth, you have to you can't just be you got to be single minded. You can't be all over the place, double minded, this and that, or else you're gonna look up and you're gonna fall,
Yep.
right? And you're gonna have to but you got to get back up. It says, verse 8, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once, right? So, hey, that straitjacket, that's a really, really great analogy because it helps keep you focused. You know what I'm saying? It helps keep you focused because you don't want to drown or you don't want to get burned. So that's a great analogy, King. All
Yeah,
praises.
yeah, that goes back to two. I think that's Matthew 17, 7 and 13. I think that's Matthew 17 and 13, basically saying how walk on a straight path. Let me see. I think that's Matthew 17 and 13.
Um,
Con, con. It says, I'm still getting used to working this, man. I be forgetting that. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate. See that? And that's basically what you were saying in second Esdras,
uh,
because the kingdom of heaven, hey, if it was a wide gate, then everybody be getting to go in. Everybody would be, doing what they want to do. But you can't do what you want to do in that straight jacket, just like you can't do what you want to do in this world. The Lord
right.
said, "Be in at the straight gate, for
Mm,
wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction." So that wide gate, that allows everybody to come in. Hey, the Lord ain't accepting everybody. The
right.
Lord is accepting everybody that's coming through in that straight gate, the narrow gate. That's why I said, "In many
Mhm.
there which go in, thereat." It says, because there is the gate. It's like it says, because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which
Mhm.
leadeth to life, and few there be that find it. See that? And the Lord said,
Mm,
if few people will be able to find that narrow, that straight gate. And that's all a part of, like I say, doing the little things, man. Brothers be sometimes lose focus or lose a sight of doing it. Just keep doing the basic and the mundane things that got them in this truth. And the same thing that got you in the race, and that's keeping you in it. It's the same thing with
mhm.
being in the truth. In the race, you continue to, if you're a boxer, making sure that you're getting up in the morning, you training, afternoon you training. Make sure you might hit up your nutritionist. Make sure that making sure you're eating the right foods. You jogging, two, 3 times a day. Right, these are the
Mhm.
little things for a boxer or for a fighter that's gonna keep them, um, in the race, so to speak. Like I say, it's no different.
Hey, what precept was it again, King Salaki? I'm sorry.
Matthew 7 and 13.
Con. Okay.
Yeah, you can pull Hebrews 3 and 13 though.
Con.
Yeah, like I say, these are some of um the little things that's
That's
what's
it.
gonna help our people, what's gonna help us to stay in a race, to keep fighting.
Mhm.
Hey, being in the truth, man, it's a fight, man. We're gonna
Mm.
constantly have to, fight these demons and fight these, just like when Yahweh Shai, when he was on the when he was tempted in Matthew the 4th chapter with that spirit. He said, "Hey,
Mhm.
man, I give you all of these. I give you the kingdoms. Hey, I give you. Hey,
Right.
if you jump off this mountain, you know what I'm saying." But Christ, what was he doing? He was fighting it with the precepts, and that's the same thing we got to do. All of these precepts that the Lord has given us, we got to fight them the same way. But you can bring that out.
Con, that's a great point, King. That is a really great point. That's what the Most High was doing. He was fighting them with he was fighting them with them precepts. So you say Hebrews 3 and verse 13.
Huh.
This is God. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 3 and verse 13. But exhort one another daily, while it is called today, lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin.
Right. It says, "Lest any of you be hardened through the deceitfulness of sin," because that's what's gonna pull you back. Like
Uh,
that sin. That's why we got to
that
stay in that
sin.
straight jacket, because sin, the
Uh,
spirit, all around us. Just like in this race, you got people all around you in this race. Hey, they trying to beat you. they trying to defeat you. And the same things with these spirits. Jump down to verse 17.
Come. Verse 17. But with whom was he grieved 40 years? Was it not with them that have sinned, whose carcasses fell in the wilderness?
Right. So let's talk about let's just going back to Moses. You know how you read verse 16. How some of our people,
Hmm.
didn't make it. They
That's
fell
right.
by in the wilderness. They didn't make it to the land of Canaan. Right. And that's just being in that race. The Lord said, "Hey, you keep my commandments, I give you everything. But if you break them, hey, that's destruction for you." And a lot of them, guess what they did? They let sin overcome them. Right? Can you read verse 8, verse 18?
Verse 18. And to whom swear he that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believe not. It says, so we that they could not enter in because of unbelief. Mm,
Yeah, and then you see, and that's what happened to them. And that's what's happening
mm,
to a lot of our people. That the unbelievers, they're gonna fall off this truth, right? They're gonna fall off the race. They're not gonna make it. Those gonna
God,
be the shaft that you read about. You keep reading. I think it's verse 13 all the way down. You got the wheat and the tares. Um, you got the wheat. What is it? You got the wheat and the tares. And what's just the other parable? Um, the Lord uses as a parable. But nonetheless, you're gonna have your unbelievers, the people that's just they're just not gonna believe. And you had men like that, the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Hey, the Lord said, "Hey, man, the kingdom gonna be taken from you and given to another people, right? Just because of people that just don't believe. You're gonna have people that don't believe that we in the last days. You're gonna have people that
mm,
don't believe in Yahweh Shai. And guess what? They're
that's
gonna
right.
fall off the race. They're not gonna win. All
That's
right.
right.
You can bring up Matthew 55. Slakia. What's that? Psalms 55 and 16. Right? Because we got to make sure that we doing the little things first
Hmm.
to finish, the race.
God. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse number 17. That's what you want, right?
Kind of
It says, evening and morning and at noon will I pray
not a
and
verse.
cry.
It's not a verse. Yeah, 16.
16. God.
Uh,
It says, as for me, this is a book of Psalms, chapter 55 and verse number 16. As for me, I will call upon the Most High, and Yahweh shall save me.
mhm.
Evening and morning and at noon will I pray and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice.
Yeah, you see that? So the Lord said,
God.
morning and noon. Again, these are and the Lord gonna hear you. He gonna hear you. He said.
Right.
But you gotta pray evening, morning, and noon. Sometimes, hey, it's better to pray than that. Depending on what you're going through, what type of
God.
spirit you're dealing with, you might have to pray. You might get done looking at a half naked Eve, in a bright in the morning on your way to work on the bus stop. She half naked. You might have to throw up a prayer
Mm.
right in the car. You might see an Eve at work, trying to flirt with you. You got a wife. You might have to go in the bathroom
Hmm.
and throw up a prayer and make sure that spirit don't creep up on you again.
That's
So
right.
yeah, so even though it says evening, morning, and noon, hey, it
Hmm.
won't hurt to pray 7 times a day, meaning, a complete number of times to fight off these spirits so you can endure, so you can finish your course, so you can finish this race. Like keep
That's
reading.
right. Come. Verse 18. He hath delivered my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many with me.
See that? The Lord said He gonna
Mm.
deliver you, your soul, so you can be in peace from this, because it's a battle. This is a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual warfare that's against us, man.
Mm.
Like this whole, the whole time we came into the truth, Satan is looking to take us out, man. Just like, you get your opponent in any other sport, whether it's boxing, whether it's basketball, baseball, you going against somebody, you going against an opponent. Guess what they're trying to do? They're trying to win. They're trying to take
Yeah.
you out. And guess what you got to
Con,
do? You got to be able to win and take them out. But how do we do this in this truth? Exhorting, fasting,
mm-hmm.
praying. Right? Get Ezra 8:21. Right?
Con,
All these things are, just the small or the basic things, the basic fundamentals for you to endure in this race. Yeah,
con.
that's how Ezra 8:21.
You said Ezra 8:21. Con,
Con.
con. This is the book of Ezra, chapter 8 and verse number 21. It says, "Then I proclaimed a fast there at the river of Ahava, that we might afflict ourselves before the Most High, to seek of him a right way for us and for our little ones and for all our substance."
Yeah, so what our forefathers did was they fasted. And they fasted to afflict themselves and to bring themselves low, like to submit. And we need that because sometimes in this truth, man, things can be going, good. Things could be going well, man. You might
Right.
have a lot of money in your bank account.
Mm.
Um, you might have, everything that you always want. You might have a woman. You might have the kids. You might be the leader of a camp.
That's
Um,
right.
might be, you might know all the precepts, and then you can be, you could have that mindset where you're like, man, I'm at the top, man. I'm on cloud nine.
Right.
But you might have to, bring yourself down a notch, and you might have to bring yourself down a notch to make sure that you're not too proud, because guess what? You can fall out the truth. And
Mm-hmm.
we don't want to fall out the truth. That's why it's very important that we make sure that we praying, make sure that, hey, we're not getting too proud, that we humble ourselves.
But we stay
Make
humble.
sure
Come on.
we fasting to fight these spirits, because
Mm-hmm.
the spirits gonna tell you, hey, these like the spirits told you, how shine, hey, if you want these kingdoms, man, I give you everything, man, but jump off
Mm.
that cliff. And so that's
Mm.
why when you going through it and these spirits are telling you to call that woman back in the world, or to you know you notice that you going through it, and you go to you going through it, and you go back in to your phone, and next thing you know, you calling a weed man, and now you hitting it home. Now's that time, hey, before you even get there. And that's another thing. You got to be able to discern these spirits, because before you even get there, that's when you got to do a proclaim a fast, right? To fight that spirit, to fight that demon off. Like,
That's
he
right.
read it, verse 22.
Come. Verse 22. "For I was ashamed to require of the king a band of soldiers and horsemen to help us against the enemy in the way, because we had spoken unto the king, saying, the hand of the Most High is upon all them for good that seek him, but his power and his wrath is against all them that forsake him."
Right. So we didn't get to a point where we get a hold of us. Now we forsaken the Lord.
Mighty.
Now we forsaken the Most High. We don't even, we don't want to get down on our knees and pray to Him. We don't want to even acknowledge Him. That's, we seen it, man. You can get to a point, and this is what happened when brothers don't do the basic fundamentals, man. This is the milk. This is the building block. These are the things. Because I know when I was coming to this truth, man, I was praying my ass off to be around brothers, to be in the
Mm.
congregation, to keep the Passover with brothers. That's prayer.
Come.
You gotta pray,
Come.
right? I was, man. Brothers was and when I got into the truth, man, brothers lifted me up. Brothers was exhorting me, man. And then later on, once I started getting built up with the milk, guess what? I started fasting. And again, these are little things that's gonna keep you, that's gonna push you, that's gonna keep you in this race. You know, because like I say, you know, in the race, man, you might start running a little slow. You know, you might see a couple people, you know, to your left and to your right. They might pass you up. It ain't over. You know, if they pass you up on you see them on the left hand side and they race you on the right hand side, you know, you still,
Hmm.
as long as you still running, as long as you
Right.
still running, that's all that matters. And then, you know, once you start getting to like that, to the second or the third to the last lap, then is when you
Mm.
start kicking it, putting it into full gear. And like what Paul was saying, you know, put yourself into subjection, you know, like you've been studying for. Because sometimes, you know, brothers get home, you know, brothers might be tired. And sometimes, you know, hey, you might get to a point when you get home from work, like, damn, I feel good. I could read me
Right.
10 chapters. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I got enough time. I can hit. I'm off today. I can hit a brother up. I can hit there's multiple brothers up and ask them how they doing. You know, and
Right.
push yourself to the limit. You know, the same thing. You know, being in this truth, man. I mean, you know, with the race, you push yourself in this race. Hey, the same thing. You push yourself in this truth, right?
That's a great point. Like you say, you see brothers on the left going past you, brothers on the right going past you, but the race is not over. And you know, another similitude for that is just looking at it like iron sharpening iron.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so hey, that's a good point, King.
yeah. And then
That's how you got to look at it.
yeah, yeah, and then too, man, because man, you win this race. You know, you don't know if you gonna win or you gonna lose. So you gotta go hard, man. You know, you don't know if it's and then it's truth too. You don't know when it's gonna be your last day. You know,
Mm.
you can be what they say, you here
Mm.
today and gone tomorrow. So that's why it's always good to make sure you always preparing for a fight. And it's truth, you gotta always do the basic fundamentals to make sure you in this fight so the Lord can see your work, so the Lord can see uh you know, basically you gotta prove to the Lord that you're worthy. And the Lord gonna see that. You know,
That's right. That's a
the
good
Lord
point.
knows the Lord knows your mind, the Lord knows your you know how bad you want it. But you also have to put it into action. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know, they don't put it into action. And so that's why, you know, you gotta make sure that you fight your hardest because again, you can be here today and gone tomorrow, man. And you can be like, damn, you can't in the grave. You can't be like, man, I wish I had another chance. I wish I went harder. You can't.
Mm.
You dead. You gone. Right. Bring
Yeah.
that. That's Ecclesiastes. I think that 9 and 10. Bring
God.
Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. Hey, once you in the grave, that's it, man. Ain't no getting
Mm.
another chance, man. That's it.
God. God. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse number 10. Somebody precept. It says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, whither thou goest. That's a mighty precept, King. Every
Yeah,
time I hear
man.
this precept, you know, it kind of, puts me back on track. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, get up, stop being slothful, stop getting distracted. So what? You got ailments. You know what I mean? And
Like
let me
you're
get a
saying.
quick precept, King. Quick precept. Let me get a quick precept. This is Galatians. Like you said, you might have money in the bank. You might be living comfortably. In this vain security, right? And you might be doing well. You come into this truth, right? And you start losing your money. Things start happening. You start being tried. Um, you start having physical ailments amp up. Um, and and you got to understand that you got to first let me get this one. Let me get this one precept before I go out of this. This is
Oh, yeah, you got it, man.
because you gotta come in. What is it? Luke 14. You gotta count the cost, right?
Uh,
Let me see what it is. Luke. Let me see. Luke 14. All right, here we go. Right here. It says, "This is
you
Yahweh
read
Shai.
Luke
This is
what?
where Luke
Luke what?
14. Luke 14 and 20. 8,
Oh
right?
yeah. Good.
Luke 14 and 28, it says, "For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first and counted the cost?" Because a lot of people come in this truth. And I say a little joke from time to time to y'all brothers, man. Brothers that be out there on the highway and byways. I say a little joke that I have. I say, I blame y'all because y'all make it look easy, right? Right? It
Yeah.
says, "For which of you intended to build a tower, sit it not down first and count the cost?" Because a lot of people, they looking at the brothers out there on the highways and byways. They love what they hearing. They want to do the work, and it
Yeah.
looks easy, right? It says, "Whether he have sufficient to finish it. Less happily, after he have laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold, it begins to mock him." So if you don't finish it, ain't nothing left to mock you but your families, your friends who don't believe, you know, especially the wicked, the other nations, right? That's what they're gonna do, and then they're gonna be saying this man began to build and was not able to finish, right? They're gonna look at you and like, oh yeah, see, that Bible stuff, this and that, this and that. Look at him now, he back smoking weed. Look at him now, he back. Where his friends is at? They're gonna mock you, but I want to pull this and but you can't let that get the best of you, right?
Yeah.
I want to pull Galatians 6 and 9. It says, and let us Galatians 6 and 9, right? It says, and let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. So, in other words, don't let the distractions of this world, don't let the fact that you might be going through something, you're being tried. Don't let the fact that you didn't think that you was gonna be tried, right?
Right.
Uh, don't let that weight. Don't let those things weigh you down, and you turn back to that old man. Keep fighting. Keep striving, right? So, so yeah, I just wanted to bring out those couple of precepts on that matter.
Good. Good. That was good, man. That was mighty. And I just want to finish this off in Ecclesiastes.
Come,
I guess what they have.
Ecclesiastes 9 and 10.
Yeah, verse 12. Actually, that's what I wanted.
Come, verse 12. Shalaki. It says, "For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, mm, and as the birds that are caught in the snare. So are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them."
Yeah. So I got the wrong. Damn. But yeah, basically, it's saying, hey, when a fish get ready to taken up out of the sea, hey, they don't know that they about to get taken up and uh uh get descaled and their heads cut off and getting filleted. You know what I'm saying? They
Come,
don't know that's about to happen to them.
right.
Um, and it's the same thing, with a bird. A bird don't know, or any type of animal, a mouse, they don't know that's about to, you know, uh, get trapped when they run across your house or your kitchen, and you get a trap laid out for them. Hey,
Hmm.
it's the same thing with us. Hey, when times of these evil times come, when these spirits come, hey, you don't know when they're gonna come. That's why you always got to be ready and prepared to fight. Keep your eye
Right.
on the prize, man. Right? Keep your eyes straight forward and try not to, like you said, like that bridle on a horse. Hey, you don't want to look to the left. You don't want to look to the right. You want to keep straight forward. Right? It's the same. It's another one in Ecclesiastes. Go to Ecclesiastes 8 and 5 too. It's a similar one.
Come. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8 and verse number 5. It says, "Whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment."
See that? So again,
Right.
the Lord is letting you know that, hey, you're not going, because persecution as well is going to come upon us. Hold on one second. So, like, yeah, because, in this race, man, the Lord tells us that persecution is going to come upon us. But the Lord said, hey, if you keep the commandment, and it's another precept, I think that's in Wisdom of Solomon, the third chapter. But it's right here saying, hey, if you keep the commandments, the Lord said, ain't no evil thing shall touch you. Right? And it says, and a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. Hey, ooh, I like that. It says, a wise man's heart discerneth time and judgment. So if you wise and if you prudent, you're gonna be able to tell when these different spirits coming upon, because you're gonna need to know, you're gonna need to have discernment. When like I say, you went at one of these your relatives' houses, you at a barbecue or something like that. You get invited to a barbecue, and you've been there for you might have only been there for 30 minutes, and they say, hey, we got these beef ribs, they're coming off the grill in 30 more minutes, and you got your drink in your hand, and
Mm.
you chilling, the music good, you listening to some, Frankie Beverly and Mays, and the music is good, you listening to some Isley Brothers, and then 5 seconds later, Eve walked past with some Daisy Dukes on, and she had a whole bunch of her friends with her. And you're like, what the hell is this?
Right, right. You look, turn away, but then you look again.
And some more coming in, and they all got
Right.
on promiscuous clothing. They barely naked, and then they come and sit by you and ask you, "What you drinking on, Yasha Paul?" And they rubbing on your
Mm-hmm.
head. Hey man, what you gonna? Are you gonna stay there and keep drinking with them, or you gonna have discernment?
You gotta have
That's why you
discernment.
gotta have. That's why it says you gonna have to know. Your heart got to be able, or your mind, you have to be able to have discernment of the time and the right judgment. Because if you don't know the
Ah,
time, yeah, you don't know the situation that you're in, and if your judgment is off because you don't have one or two, hey, guess what, man? That can cause you into to lusting. That can cause
come.
you into you might have had one too many drinks. You drinking with her. Next thing you know, she asks you, "Oh, can I get a ride home?" Next thing you know, can you come in my crib? You wanna come in for a nightcap? And the
Mm,
next thing you know, you waking up in the bed next to her, cause
come.
you cause you ain't have no discernment, you ain't had no judgment. So
You ain't had no discernment, and now you're afraid to go outside and get in your car.
yup. Hey, and now you at the point you feel so bad, you feel ashamed and naked. You don't even want to pray to the Most High because you don't fuck messed up. You don't fucked up, man.
Hey, that's real bad. That's
Yep,
real bad.
yep,
Hey, I
yep,
got when you get a chance, I got a quick precept on that point, man.
yep. Go ahead.
To link up with this that Sirach 8 and verse number 5. This is Sirach 27 and verse number 12. It says, if thou be among the indiscreet, like what you just got through bringing out, that type of the indiscreet, walking around with Daisy Dukes, everybody got a drink in their hand, you probably the only Israelite, you know what I mean?
Con.
It says, if thou be among the indiscreet, I mean, you're the only one that knows that you're an Israelite. You're the only one in the truth. It says, if thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time, pay attention to the time, but
Mm.
but be continually among men of understanding. So yeah, so you gotta you really have to observe the time when you're in those type of situations, man.
Yeah, and that's what we say all
Mm,
the time, man. Discernment, discernment, discernment. You got to be able to have discretion,
mm,
knowing when these spirits is around, knowing when Satan is around. you at a barbecue. No, not that we saying there's nothing wrong with going to a barbecue, but the
Right.
party is over. The party is over when you at a barbecue and then everybody starts going inside and then uh you got the young kids coming in and then they start smoking weed in the house, you
Mm.
know, and you know what you gonna do, man? Hey, you having discernment, you gotta leave.
Yeah,
You
it's
gotta
time to
tell
go.
your family members, hey, I had a good time, thanks for the food. It's time to go. You might have only been there for 30 minutes. Now you might have only been there for 5 minutes. They'd be like, damn,
Right,
you
you
leaving
finna leave?
already? And guess what? Your spirit gonna be so oppressive, like, damn, I just got here, man. I feel bad for leaving, but hey, that's when that discernment and that judgment come in. You gotta be like, no, I gotta go. It's time for me to go.
Huh?
Especially if you was a brother, you ain't rooted and you just came out of the world and you was a weed smoker. Hey,
Hmm.
that's when Satan, man, he love to hop on people like that.
That's right.
But even still, if you rooted in this truth, man, you don't want to be around that because they're looking at you with your fringes on and they know what you about. Like, I thought
Mm.
what you doing? You
Mm.
around here sniffing. You might as well take a puff.
Right.
And then you're gonna be compelled to be like, damn, hey man, hey, just you gotta leave, man. You gotta know, you gotta be able to have discernment. But I
Mm-hmm.
want to bring this quick precept out.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew 5:27. Get that for me.
Come.
Yeah, a lot of brothers, man, they don't have that. They're not strong enough to, to say no. They're not strong enough to walk up and leave. They don't have discernment,
Come.
and that just comes from, not being spiritually built up and raised and rooted in this truth, not being, not having the milk, you know.
Right.
But it all comes with time. It all comes with being built up, and that's why we training. That's why we telling brothers, we're doing this lesson to, hey, do the little things to build you up so you can get past the milk and eventually get to the bread, then the meat, then the wine. It's a process, right? You know
That's
that.
right. Come. It says, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, and verse number 27. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. Verse 28, but I say unto you that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her have committed adultery with her already in his heart.
Yeah, keep reading.
And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not the whole body should be cast into hell.
Yeah, so again, like if you at this party, hey man, it's better for you to walk away than to stay. Because if you stay, like I said, you stay there and you go home with that woman, guess what? You end up having a one night stand. That's that whole body going into hell, right? It's better for you to just go ahead. You see her. So you don't know if she married or not, and you looking and you lusting at her. Hey, the Lord said you already verse 27 said you already committed adultery. Verse
Mm.
28 said you already, verse 28 said you already committed adultery because you don't know if she married or not. You just lusting after her. She barely got any clothes on. So it's better for you to just go ahead and leave rather than to stay there. Because if you stay there, and the Lord is saying that, hey, your whole body gonna be dead, right?
Mm.
Go to Sirach 21 and verse number 2.
Ah. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 21, and verse number 2. And it reads, flee from sin as from the face of a serpent. For if thou comest too near it, it will bite thee. The teeth
Yeah.
thereof, come.
Yeah, keep going.
It says the teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion slaying the souls of men.
Yeah, man. Hey, soon, hey, and once you lay down with that woman,
Man,
man, hey, and you in this truth, it's painful, man. It hurts because
mm,
you know you weren't supposed to be, you know,
right.
lusting. You knew you was supposed to leave right when she sat down next to you, you drinking and you kiki and a ha ha, and then she rubbing on your head, and you know, hey, that was the time when she started rubbing on your head and y'all drinking. You ain't supposed to be, hey, after one or two, hey, that's probably it. But once you start drinking with her and she y'all throwing her back and she say, let's take a shot, and you ain't in your right mind, hey man, Satan already got you. And you lay down with her,
Come.
hey, hey, that's when it says, hey, that serpent bit you, man. That serpent
Come.
bit you like a lion. Hey, and we never been bit by a lion, but we can only imagine. Imagine being bit by a lion. Hey, when we wake up from that sin, that's how bad it hurts, man. Hey,
That's how bad it hurts.
I know anytime I sin, it might have been a lie. It might have been any type of, fornication or any type of spirit that you've indulged in. Hey, you feel bad, man. You feel ashamed.
Come.
You feel naked. And we can only imagine, man, you know, with these spirits, when
Shit.
we don't have discernment, how it can come back around and bite us. So that's why it's very important, man. You read these precepts, man, and make sure we take heed. Hey, because they come to life, man. We say this all the time. These precepts come to life. And
Yeah, they
again, it
do.
says, flee from sin, stay away from sin, stay away from these spirits, run from these spirits. And
Mm.
guess what? Hey, they looking for us, man. Best believe we
Come.
running from these spirits. They looking for us.
Right.
Yeah, you
Hey,
got
like you said earlier, you know, whenever the team that's, especially the team that's on top, come to town, it's a sellout crowd. Hey, the other team might be at the bottom, but guess what? They're gonna be at their best that day, right? Because,
Yep,
and that's the same thing with these spirits on the left hand side. Because we're doing our best to fight and keep the commandments of the Most High God. These spirits, they gonna come even harder. They gonna come even more,
yep,
right? And they gonna be on their A game. So we got to be on our A game, right? And we
yep.
got to understand that we got to continue to fight so we can, like we was talking, like the title, hey, finish strong,
Man,
right?
yep. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised if these spirits, man, be casting lots on us, man. Like, hey, man, yeah, I bet you, four spirits or your five spirits, I can get y'all should call to go off. Hey, I wouldn't be surprised.
Nah, I wouldn't be surprised,
I
man.
wouldn't be surprised if they doing that, man. Hey, man, I guarantee you, man,
Damn,
I can get this brother to drink 6 old fashions.
damn.
I bet you I can get. You know what I'm saying? They probably
Nah,
be.
because it happens all the time, right? You trying to be righteous, and then like you said, here comes something, that try to get you off your square, and you like, man, that ain't nothing but Satan.
Yup. Read 2 Corinthians 2:11.
God, hey, that's funny though. That's good stuff, man. Because I know they probably do be gambling, man. You
Yup.
say Second Corinthians
2:11.
2:11. It's the book of Second Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Yeah. And that's key, man.
God,
we gotta make sure that when these spirits come on us, we gotta be able to know how to fight these spirits, you know, and know
right.
that we like, like we were just talking about, that woman sit down next to you, you went somebody's house with a bunch of weed smoke. Hey, you can't be ignorant of Satan, man. That's Satan. You got to be able
Satan.
to detect and discern these spirits, man. Just like what was that movie with the Ghostbusters? Hey, they was able to detect ghosts, man.
Mm-hmm.
By the screaming and the yelling. They had the little, I don't forget what the little box that they had, but they
Mm-hmm.
was able to. They had these little guns and they was zapping them. And when it
Okay.
zapped them, all these spirits went out to this little box.
Mm.
You know what you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I saw it, but it's been a long time since I saw
Yeah,
it. But I do remember the gun that used to zap them and suck the spirit into this little box or whatever, like you're saying, or whatever. I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
something
So
like
we
that.
got to
Yeah.
make sure that we able to do the same thing when we detect
Con.
concerning these spirits. But you got to know how, right? How do
There
you
you go.
detect and discern these spirits, right? Ephesians 6 and 10.
Con.
Right? Ephesians 6 and 10, man. This is how you fight these demons. This is how you fight these spirits, man.
Con.
Right? It's the Lord give us the blueprint on how to win.
That's right. Con. It says, this is Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord.
Be what?
And then be strong in the Lord
Right.
and in the power of his might. Verse 11. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
Yeah, and see
Right?
that the said put on it's like you put on the whole armor of Yahweh, they may be able to stand against the evils of the devil. And what's the whole armor what's the whole armor? Keep reading.
Come. Verse 12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Right. And that's again, this is all of these spirits that, even Satan,
That's
even
right.
Satan himself, and even these Edomites, they're gonna put in front of us all type of snares, man. Being that they control the music industry, they got the
Hmm.
women dressing provocatively, and a lot of the younger women are watching them and want to dress like whores and be whores. They got a lot of our men dressing and acting like homosexuals, knowing that's against the Most High Yahweh.
Right.
And now they're feminine. Now they're teaching that it's okay in the schools for kids to decide if they want to be, gay or straight, which is off.
That's
How you
crazy.
how do you let a kid decide if they want to be a male or female, right? And then you get, all these different TV shows and the sports. You're looking at the sports, and you grew up, you want to play sports, and now the next thing you know, you breaking the Shabbat because you hooping
right.
and you playing baseball on the Shabbat. You breaking the Shabbat, the Lord's holy day, and the devil just got you. You worshiping white Jesus. Growing up. These spiritual wickedness and all these powers that you and the rulers of the darkness in this world that you up against. And every day you got to learn how to fight these different spirits. Right? Keep reading verse 13.
Verse 13. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Verse 14. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth,
With
and
what?
have about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness.
Drop down
Right?
the verse. Yeah, drop down the verse. Hold on, hold that for a minute. So again,
Come.
it says having your loins girded about with truth. Right? Your loins is talking about your midsection, holding yourself up. Right? It says with truth. And what is this truth? So that's Psalms 119 and 142.
Right.
Right? The law, statutes, commandments is this truth. Right? And what is righteousness? It all goes back to the middle. Deuteronomy 6 and 25.
6:25.
Like righteousness is an everlasting righteousness. Right?
Come.
And righteousness is what? Keeping God's commandments. Let me
Come.
get that real quick. Can you get that real quick? Slocky, Deuteronomy 6 and 25.
Come. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, and verse 25. And it reads, and it shall be our righteousness if we observe to do all these commandments before the Lord our God as he had commanded us.
Right? And so that's basically it. Righteousness is keeping God's commandments.
That's
Right?
right.
Um, drop down to verse 16.
verse 16. This is it's the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 16. Above all, taking the shield of faith.
Right, and we already know what faith is. That's Psalms 119:86. Keep reading.
Come. It says, taking above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
Right, and this is how you fight. This is how you fight the wicked. This is how you
Mm,
fight these Edomites, and this is how you fight
mm,
these demons and these spirits. By
right.
having the shield of faith, by having your loins girded about with truth and a breastplate of righteousness. Like
Mm,
these things is what protects you from Satan and all of these spirits, the
right.
law, statutes, commandments. All right, keep reading verse 17.
Verse 17. And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God.
There you go. So the helmet and salvation is what? To get
Right.
salvation, because a helmet is what protects you. But the Lord said the helmet of salvation is what? Is the word of God.
It's the
And
word
what
of
is the
God.
word of God? Hey, these precepts, what we reading.
That's
Yep.
right.
Right. And this is all you need. The Lord is again, He's laying out the blueprint for you to finish this race, for you to win this race. Not only to just to get through this race, because you don't want. I mean, because it's gonna be other people running with you. But the point is that you want to win.
That's right,
Right?
King.
Again, that's what Paul said. You're not just fighting this thing just to be fighting. We're not doing this thing for something that's incorruptible. We're doing this thing for a heavenly reward.
Mm, that's
Right? This is
right.
how we fight. Get Romans 13 and verse number 12.
Come,
If you ain't got nothing, I'm gonna keep the spirit flowing.
come. This is the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse number 12. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness and let us put on the armor of light. Mm.
Right. And what is the light? What's that?
Proverbs,
Proverbs 6 and
verse 6 and
23.
23.
Right, get that.
Come. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 6 and verse number 23. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
Hey man, the Lord tell you multiple times how to get out of this thing, man.
That's
Go to
right.
Isaiah
There you
59
go.
and 17. Isaiah 59
Come.
and 17. So
Hmm.
again, man, these commandments, it all goes down to the milk,
That's
the
right.
basic fundament. Hey, milk is the basic fundamentals for human development.
Mm.
This precepts is the basic fundamentals for you to get built up in this truth and to
Come.
receive salvation. Right? Isaiah 59 and 17.
Hey, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 59 and verse 17. For he put on righteousness as a breastplate
Yeah, it's
and
the
a
same.
helmet. Come.
The
Come.
Lord tell us
It's,
multiple times, man. He tell us multiple times just in case, hey, you forgot. Keep reading.
hey, God, and this is a cut, man. Christians, man, Christianity, kind of do away with the Old Testament. But I wonder where Paul got this from. It says, for he put verse. This is again Isaiah 59 and verse 17. For he put on righteousness as a breastplate and a helmet of salvation upon his head, and he put on the garments of vengeance for clothing, as was clad with zeal as a cloak.
Hmm. And
Verse
that's
18. Go ahead.
that's pretty much it. And
God.
that's what, like you said, that's what Brother Paul was saying to the church in Ephesus. He basically was quoting Isaiah, and a lot of them, quoted, Isaiah. Yahweh Shai quoted Isaiah,
Right.
and that's why it's saying the same thing. Breastplate is righteousness. The helmet is helmet of salvation. That you're having your loins girded. That's the
Hmm.
garment of vengeance for clothing. It says
That's
it
right.
was clad with zeal as a cloak. So again, these little things, hey man, you can't get past these precepts, man. You can't get around the Lord.
That's a fact.
Romans, let's get Romans 13 to 12.
Uh, we just brought that out.
Oh, okay,
We'll bring it out again. Oh, okay.
nah, you can bring out Matthew 4, verse number 1.
Con. Okay,
Hey,
Con.
so
This is
you
the
know
book
what?
of.
Hold on. Let me get Rome. Go back to. Let me see something. Let's see. Did I miss something on Romans 13 and 12?
Oh,
Oh yeah. Keep reading Romans 13 and 12. Keep reading.
okay, Con. This is the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 12.
You can jump down to verse 13.
Verse 13, it says, let us walk honestly as in the day, not in rioting and drunkenness, not in chambering and wantonness, not in strife and envying. Verse
Right.
14,
Right. So,
go
oh
ahead.
yeah, that's it right there. So basically, it says, "Let us walk honestly as in a day, not in rioting and drunkenness." Right, and that could be physically and spiritually drunkenness. It says not in chambering, and our chambering goes back to, the chamber. Chamber is, where we would go and have sex. So that's why I'm saying, hey, make sure you're not basically um, just having illicit sex. That's what that chambering is, and that wantonness is basically going into having some type of discipline or self control.
Con,
So, we got to make sure that we, walking and being honest, having self control, and, just not, goes back to having on that straight jacket, having on that breastplate and that armor,
right.
right? Because again, we're gonna be tempted, man, right? We're gonna be just like Yahweh Shah was. We can bring that out in Matthew now. Right? We're
Con,
gonna get we're gonna get tempted, man. And we're gonna
that's
see
a
how
fact.
Yahweh Shai, we're gonna see how Yahweh Shai
Con.
dealt with these spirits.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 4 and verse number 1. Then was Yahweh Shai led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterwards and hungered.
See that the Yahweh Shai had to fast. Yahweh
Mm,
Shai fasted, right? So hey, if we follow Yahweh Shai, guess what we got to do? Fast. And there's a lot of our people that guess what? They don't fast, and they wonder why all these
mm,
spirits keep hopping on them. Keep reading.
mm. It says, and when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of the Most High, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone,
See
but by
that?
every God,
Keep reading.
but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Most High.
Yeah. So again, you might, at verse 3 it says, I bet you this Satan said, hey man, Satan probably came in, his brain came in and said, hey man, I bet you can't make these stones be bread.
Mm,
And Yahweh said, man, it's like, come on, man. That's why it says as it is written, because why? Yahweh Shai was fighting him with precepts. Go to Deuteronomy 8 and 3.
God, that's fire. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8 and verse number 3. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger, and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, neither did thy fathers know, that he might make thee know that man does not live by bread alone,
See
but by
that?
every God, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Lord does man live.
Yeah. And
God.
so again, people gotta understand, well, wait a minute, where was Yahweh Shai getting all this stuff from?
Mm.
Yahweh Shai was using the precepts, man, to
God.
fighting these demons. And that's what we gotta do.
Right.
Man, you going through you dealing with not being patient, go to the patience precepts. You dealing with lust,
Right.
you got precepts for lust, you got precepts for fornication, man, you got precepts for adultery,
Right.
even in the law, even in the New Testament, man, there's precepts for everything to get you
Everything.
through. And this is where Yahweh Shai is giving us an example how to do it. Right, keep reading.
God. Con. Verse 5. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple and said unto him, If thou be the Son of the Most High, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone.
Right, keep reading.
Yahweh Shah said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God.
Right, and that's Deuteronomy. Go to Deuteronomy 6 and 16.
Come, come. This is
What
the
was
book of
that? 8.
Deuteronomy.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, and verse number 16. Ye shall not tempt the Lord your God, as ye tempted him in Massah. Come.
Yeah, and again, hold on. Right, that's verse, and that's what the Lord is pretty much, telling the spirit, man. Hey, man. Basically, hey, man, you can't come against me, man. I got
Mm,
these precepts. I'm fighting them with these daggers. I'm fighting this with the sword. And,
come.
and at the end of the day, hey, these spirits, man, they're gonna give in. They're like, damn, I'm getting hurt. I'm getting hurt. I'm getting cut. That's what was happening to the Pharisees and the Sadducees, man. The Lord just kept giving them precepts from the Old Testament, and guess what they was doing? Walking away,
Yeah,
walking away.
come.
And that's what these
Come.
spirits gonna do when you use these precepts, man. You gotta have a little patience, but guess what? They're gonna walk away too. Right, keep
Right.
reading.
Come. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 4, and verse number 8. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Verse 10. Then said Yahushua unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve.
Right, and
Come.
that's verse 10. And when it say, "For it is written," guess what? It was written in
Mm,
Exodus, the 20th chapter, to what? Um, Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. You can't serve no other
that's,
gods.
that's right.
And so, man, when these spirits hear that, they get cut. And this is how, we gotta learn to do that, man, by fighting these spirits with the precepts. There ain't no other way, man. It's just why that's why Romans seven
Come.
fourteen say this is a spiritual fight. This is spiritual warfare. You can't do this thing carnally. All right, let me get some closing precepts, man. Try to wind it
Okay,
down.
come.
Let's get
Come.
Revelation chapter 3 and verse number 10.
Come. It's the book of Revelations, chapter 3, and verse number 10. Because thou hast, Salaki, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth.
Right, read verse. You're right, keep reading.
God. Verse 11, Behold, I come quickly, hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. God.
Right, because the Lord said, you know, because we kept His word and we were patient. The Lord said, um, make sure that nobody take your crown. Make sure that these spirits eat, these Edomites don't make sure that they don't take your crown. But you have to, make sure you're keeping the word. Make sure you're keeping the words of the Lord. Right, keep reading.
God. It's verse 12. Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name.
Right, so the Lord said, hey, if you overcome, the Lord gonna make sure that when you in these chariots, you're gonna come down from the chariots, and you're gonna be placed back in the homeland. Right, and this what we're looking for, man. Once we overcome this flesh, once we overcome fighting these spirits and defeat Esau and being in this kingdom, and the Lord said, hey, we're gonna overcome. and we're gonna be kicking back to Jerusalem. Right, let's get Revelation 2 and 26.
Come. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 2 and verse 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I receive of my Father.
Right, and that's what we're looking for, man.
Right,
We're looking again. The Lord say, if you overcome, basically, and if you endure and you keep the commandments, which is the keep the works, which is the commandments, all the way to the end. And the Lord said He's gonna give you power over the nations. So you don't get the kingdom, but then He said He's gonna give you power over the nations. And we're
right.
gonna rule with a rod of iron. Hey, and that's our
Mm,
kingdom in a nutshell. That's us, being placed back into rulership, righteous
come.
rulership, which we were, what we supposed to have,
That's right.
what was taken away from us.
Hmm.
Right. Let's get Revelation 3, verse number 3.
Come. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 3 and verse number 3. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast, and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come on thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee.
Again, so one of the things, enduring in this race, enduring to the end, is repenting. It's one
Right,
thing for us to sin, but the most beautiful thing about being an Israelite, aside from all the other nations, is us being able to repent. Right? Keep reading.
come. It says, verse number 4, thou hast a few names, even in Sardis, which have not defiled their garments, and they shall walk, Salaki, they shall walk with me in white, for they are worthy. Salaki King. Verse 5, he that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and I will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels.
Right, and that's what we're looking for. The Lord tells us multiple times that if we overcome, right, He's going to give us that
Mhm.
white garment. He's going to let us rule these nations with a rod of iron. He's going to confess the Lord Yahweh Shai saying He's going to confess us before His Father and before the angels, and that's
Right.
glory, man. That's the glory that we patiently waiting for and we seeking. Right,
Come,
Revelation 2 and number 10.
come. I'm gonna hop in there right quick,
Go ahead.
because you got some mighty closing precepts, King. Let me hop in there with a couple of precepts right quick. Uh, this is Second Timothy 2, and I'm gonna start at verse 1. It says, "Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Hamashiach Yahushua." So he said, be strong in this grace, because this is a grace period. That's what this is. And grace is supposed to be teaching us to turn back to the Most High God. It says, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses, the same commit thou to faithful men who shall be able to teach others also. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Hamashiach Yahushua. So we want to continue to fight and endure this hardness, right? As a good soldier of our Lord of Lords and our King of Kings. And I got one more, Second Timothy 4 and 5. It says, but watch thou in all
Hey, you
things.
got to start at verse 3.
What? Verse 3? Okay, come. This is Second Timothy chapter 4 and verse 3. For the time will for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine.
Yep. So
But
that's
after, come.
there's gonna come a time where people they're not gonna endure what the
Right.
words of the Lord. They're gonna be cast off in all of these different type of religions and different faiths and everything. The Lord said it's
Mm,
gonna come a time where they're not gonna endure sound doctrine. Keep reading.
come. It says, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears.
Right. That's these different types of doctrines. Read.
Right. It says, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and
Mm,
shall be turned unto fables.
damn.
Mm,
Keep reading.
Verse 5. But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do
See,
the
that's
work
that's
of
what we
an
gotta that's what we gotta do. Right? Being in this
God.
truth, man, endure afflictions, because we're gonna be afflicted, we're gonna get tempted. But the Lord
Right.
said, be watchful, watch out for the signs of the times. Matthew
Mm,
24:6 on down. All of these prophecies going down
that's
and
right.
that's being fulfilled. The Lord said, be watchful and endure afflictions. Right? This is the
Mm,
the Lord is laying out the blueprint, man. Keep reading.
God. It says, but watch, verse 5, but watch thou in all things endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry. Come. So
Keep reading.
that's it.
No,
Come.
no, keep,
Verse
keep
6.
reading.
Come. Verse 6. For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith.
Read
Almighty
that.
man, all praise.
Read verse 7. Read verse 7 again.
Verse 7. Come. It says, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith.
And that's what at the end of the man, this should have been the last precept right here. I don't know. I might you know what? Yeah, this is I got one more precept. I had a couple more, but man,
Okay,
this
come.
is beautiful. It says, I have fought a good fight. And that's how you that's it, man. Once we fought this fight,
Wow.
once we got done racing in this race, when we got done, whether we've been beheaded by this truth, whether we, became martyrs for this truth, whether we
Mhm.
just got beamed up and we in the wilderness. Hey, that's it. That's fighting a good fight. That's finishing our course. And that's keeping the faith all the way into the end. Keep reading, verse 8.
Come. Verse 8. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness,
Mm,
which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing.
right, and that's what we're looking for. Just, not just us, not just me, not just you, but for all the brothers in this truth
Right.
that's been righteous, right? That's been patient, that's fought the good fight, that's kept the commandments, right?
Right.
We're all waiting to see the Lord, in His appearing, right? And one last precept, Second Ezra 2:42.
Mm. Mm. Come. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 2 and verse 42. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. Mm.
Keep reading. Read up to
Come,
verse 47.
come. It says, verse 44. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh. Now are they crowned and receive palms.
Right, and that's what we waiting for, man. Once we finish this race,
Mhm.
spiritually, when we finish this race, the Lord is gonna put a crown on our head and let us know, hey, uh, well and done, my good and faithful servant, man.
That's
Just
right.
like again in this race, when you run in a race, hey, these people going when they finish the race, they won this race, and they're gonna get a trophy, a medal, whatever the case may be. But again, we wait for the Lord to put a crown on our heads. Keep reading.
Come,
Hey, and a palm in our hand. Keep reading.
come. It says, verse 46. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of the Most High, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord.
And that's right,
All,
man. This is how you finish the race. This is how you finish your
all praises. Con.
standing stiffly for the name of the Lord. Everything that the Lord did, loving his brothers, keeping the commandments, walking in the spirit, doing the will of the Lord, doing the will of the Father. We got to do the same thing, like fighting them with these precepts. It don't get no easier than that,
That's right.
right? You got anything else you want to bring out?
No, that's it, King.
Con, all praises.
Mighty precepts, King. All praise to the Most High.
Con. All right, with that, we want to give all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Lord willing, the video was edifying. Shalom.
Shalom.